Welcome back to Maths with Mrs. J. We're doing a series of videos about index laws. In our previous video, we did the index laws that would normally be covered from sort of year 6 or 7 up to about year 8 or 9. We're now getting into the slightly more complicated index laws, and we're going to start talking about negative indices, and in our next video we'll be talking about fractional indices. Let me just explain why a to the 0 is 1, assuming that the base isn't 0, and why a negative index is the same as a reciprocal. If we're dividing a cubed by a cubed, then using our index law about dividing powers of the same base, we subtract our indices. 3 minus 3 is 0. So we'd get a to the 0. But we also know that a cubed divided by a cubed is just 1. So a to the 0 must be 1. All right? It doesn't matter how complicated the expression is. It could be 57x cubed y to the negative 5 b q to the 7 all raised to the 0. It's just going to be 1. Okay? Similarly, thinking about our negative indices, well, we know that a cubed times a to the negative 3 is a to the 0 because 3 plus negative 3 is 0, and that's 1. So if I want to get this on its own, I'm going to divide both sides by a cubed. So what I'd like you to think about from now on is I'd like you to think about negative indices. So negative index, I'd like you to think reciprocal. So if you have a negative index in a numerator, that's the same as a positive index in a denominator. If you have a negative index in a denominator, that's the same as a positive index in a numerator. Let's do some examples. Let's just start with a fairly easy one. X to the negative 5. Well, that is 1 over x to the 5th. It's as simple as that. 4/5, a to the negative 3. Well, the 4 and the 5 aren't going anywhere. They're just still 4/5. A to the negative 3 is the same as a cubed in the denominator. Negative index, think reciprocal. Okay, let's have a look at this next one. 6a cubed, okay, well that's all right. That's just 6a cubed. B to the negative 1, c to the negative 5. That's the same as having b to the 1, or just b in the denominator, and c to the 5 in the denominator. Negative index, think reciprocal. Okay, the 7 and the 2 aren't going anywhere, but we've got an a to the negative 4 in the numerator. That's the same as an a to the 4 in the denominator. A b to the negative 3 in the denominator is the same as a b to the positive 3 in the numerator. Okay, reciprocal is the word to remember. Let's have a look at this one. Well, the 5's outside the bracket, so it's not raised to anything. B cubed cubed is b to the 9. C to the negative 2 cubed, we're going to multiply the indices. So at this stage, we're just doing what we would have done in our previous video, just using those index laws. B to the negative 4. So we don't actually need that bracket anymore. Let's get rid of that bracket. So we're going to get b to the negative 4 and c to the negative 20. Let's just tidy this up a bit first, put all our b's together and all our c's together, and then we'll work out what we're going to end up with as our expression. 5 times 3 is 15. B to the 9 times b to the negative 4, adding those indices, and we get b to the 5. C to the negative 6 times c to the negative 20. If we add those indices, we get negative 26. So our final step now, we don't like giving our answers with negative indices. So we'll leave our 15b to the 5th in the numerator, and we'll put c to the 26th in our denominator. All right, this one here, let's just get rid of the brackets first and then we'll deal with the fact that we've got to divide it by. So we're going to bring the cubed into everything. So 2 cubed is 8. M cubed is m to the 9. R squared cubed is r to the 6, and n to the negative 4 cubed is n to the negative 12. I'm multiplying the indices. Don't try to do too many things in the one step. Leave this as a divided by for now. 5 squared is 25. M to the negative 2 squared is m to the negative 4. N cubed squared is n to the 6 over r squared. Now what we're going to do is we're going to deal with the fact that we've got a divided by. You might remember when you were learning about fractions that if you're dividing by a fraction, that's the same thing as multiplying by the reciprocal. Now, we're leaving it exactly as it was with the negative indices and whatever and just turning it upside down at this stage. All right, don't try to do too many things at once. Okay, let's tidy up our numerator and tidy up our denominator and then see what we've got. Our numerator will end up with 8m to the 9r squared. Our denominator will end up with 25. Now the m's, we've just got an m to the negative 4. The n's, we've got an n to the negative. What's happened to my, oh yeah. That should have been an n there, sorry about that. Thought something looked a bit weird. So we've got an m to the negative 4, n to the negative 6, and r to the 6. Okay, leave your 8 and your 25 as they are. The bigger power of the m is in the numerator. So we're going to do m to the 9 divided by m to the negative 4 will be m to the 13. The bigger power of r is in the denominator. R to the 6 divided by r squared is r to the 4th. And then we've got an n to the negative 6. So that's the same as n to the 6 in the numerator. So it can be a little bit cumbersome working with our negative indices when we start. But if you just remember this, I think you'll be pretty much okay. Just do lots and lots of practice.